Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, as you can tell by the title, I have a story time. Now you guys, honestly my experience was not interesting. It wasn't like the novelas, you know, there was no rose petals, no candles, no elephant song. Like, it was kind of boring. So I also decided to include how I almost lost my virginity, just so that this video won't be so short, because if I didn't, it would literally be like 1 minute long. So yeah, let's get started. Starting off with the first part of the video. So at this time I am 16 years old, and back then, like, party crews were the ish. Like, everybody would go to flyer parties, everybody would sell NOS and all that stuff. I would go out all the time, and I met an older guy through the party crew that I was from. So he was from the guys crew and I was from the girls crew. So I met him, you know, at a party, and we liked each other. We talked for a few days, then he asked me out and we got together, whatever. So around that time, like, my mom had already given me permission to have a boyfriend. So my mom actually even got to meet him. I got to meet his family. It did not last, you guys, it did not last. So I think we were together for like 2 months. Everything was fine, you know. I was actually like starting to fall in love with him, because I don't know, like, it was like my first legit boyfriend that my mom gave me permission, you know, y que no estaba escondidas and all that. Fast forward like almost 2 months into the relationship. Obviously he knew I was a virgin. I had told him since the beginning, and he said he was okay with that. Like, he was willing to wait until I was comfortable to lose my virginity. Obviously the day comes, and so I'm at his house and we're laying down, we're watching TV, and he starts kissing me, you know, starts touching me and stuff. And I noticed that he was like super horny. So I was like, inside my mind I was like, oh my god, I think today's gonna be like the day that we're gonna fuck. I was already starting to get nervous. Like, my stomach se sentía todo revuelto, my heart was kind of beating fast, I was just shaky, I was nervous, because growing up, like, my mom, she had me when she was 16, and she has always been open about like sex and about boys and all that, because she never wanted me to have a kid at a young age, and she never wanted me to just fall in love, you know, con cualquier guy que te hable bonito y todo eso. She would always be like, you know, a guy's always gonna want to try to have sex first and this and that, you're so beautiful, you have to be careful, blah blah. So I was always careful, obviously, and I did like kiss and make out with a lot of guys. Like, back then, macking and all that, like, it was like a big deal. Now, like, 13-year-old kids are losing their virginity, so it's way different now. Oh my god, where was I going with this? So my mom, she scared me a lot. She actually, not on purpose, but I just felt like as soon as I have sex, like, I'm gonna have a kid, or the guy's gonna get me pregnant. Like, I just was always so scared of that. And obviously, like, I didn't want to be a 16-year-old with, you know, a kid. So at that time, you know, when we're in bed, I'm just thinking, oh my god, I don't want to get pregnant. Like, that's all that's running in my head. He starts taking off his clothes, he takes off my clothes, I'm laying down on the bed, you know, and he's on top of me, and my legs are open, and he's like wiggling his thing down there. And I was like, I started feeling like the wetness, you know, around my thighs, and I was like, you're not gonna put a condom on? And he was like, no, I don't like it with the condom. When he said that, I automatically, like, I'm not playing, like, my legs, like, I was just so nervous that my legs were like this, like, they were shaking. And I just kept thinking, like, I'm gonna get pregnant, I'm gonna get pregnant. So every time he tried to put his penis inside of me, like, without a condom, I would just go like, my legs would just shut. Like, he would kind of touch my vagina, obviously, like, try to put it in, but I was just not having it. Like, my legs would keep shutting down. So he obviously noticed that I was not ready yet, and he stopped, and he was just like, oh, do you just mind going down on me then? That was literally how I almost lost it. Like, he tried to put it in, he never put it in. You can say that he like put the tip in probably, but he never literally like rammed me or anything. Obviously the main thing that scared me the most was that he wanted to do it without a condom. So I was super scared to have sex without a condom. Once all of that, you know, we finished doing all that, I end up, you know, going home, and I text him and I'm like, hey baby, I'm home already, what are you doing, you know, just texting him, and he never replies. So then I'm like, what the hell? And I call him and he doesn't answer. So I'm like, maybe he just fell asleep, you know? So the next day I'm getting ready for school. I text him, no reply. I call him, He does not answer me. So then I go on MySpace, because you know, back then it was like the MySpace days. I go on his page and I see that he's active. So I was like, okay, like I message him and I'm like, how come you haven't answered me? He never replied to me. He just literally left me like that. Then he unfollows me. So I'm like, oh, okay, like it's literally over. And obviously I was like so heartbroken, because he never told me anything. Like he never dumped me. He never sent me a message or told me through the phone or in person. Like till this day we're still together, because I never dumped him, you know. He didn't dump me either. So but seriously, like that he left me like that. So yeah, that ended up happening. And you guys, you know, the crazy part is that obviously, like I said, I was from a party crew and he was from the same one. So I started seeing him at parties randomly, and he was making out with this girl that was from the same party crew as me. And obviously when I saw that, I was already like over him. I was already, you know, messing around with other guys. So I didn't really care, it didn't hurt my feelings. But that girl ended up getting pregnant. Like maybe a few weeks later, she ended up getting pregnant, because obviously I used to follow her. We were from the same party crew. And she had uploaded like a picture of her ultrasound on her MySpace. And I was just like, oh my god. And obviously he was the dad. So thank God that I did not lose my virginity to him, because if I did, I'm pretty sure that I would have been pregnant by him. And I'm pretty sure that, you know, if my mom wouldn't have raised me the way that she did and, you know, talked to me about stuff like that, like I'm pretty sure that I would have just like opened my legs to him and been like, okay, no condom, that's fine, you know. Yeah, that was that. Now to the real part, to where I actually lose it. You guys, I'm 18 years old now. Yes, at first I was 16 when I was almost gonna lose it. Now I'm 18 years old. Honestly, like I said, I was just never ready to have sex. I would mess around a lot with a lot of guys, but I wouldn't go all the way, like obviously all the way. I was still a virgin at the age of 18. This time, again, I have another boyfriend, and obviously I tell him that I'm a virgin. This time I'm like, okay, I'm gonna lose it with him, because I am not going to be 19 years old and still a virgin. Like I just felt like it was time, you know, to lose my virginity. Then like 2 weeks into the relationship, we're texting back and forth, and the subject comes up, and he asks me like, when are you planning, you know, on having sex? And I told him like, I know I want to have sex with you. I just feel like, you know, I just need to be comfortable, because I'm very shy and blah blah blah, you know. I end up going to his house, and obviously I don't go in there thinking, oh, today is the day that I'm gonna lose my virginity. It was just any other day that I was just hanging out with him. So I go to his house. He had his own room, so we're laying down in his bed and we're watching TV. We start making out. He starts, you know, kissing me everywhere, touching me and stuff, and he asks me if it's okay for us to have sex, and I tell him that it's okay, but that he has to wear a condom. So he pulls up on his drawer. He has a bunch of condoms there, and I was like, okay. And this guy, he was the same age as me. He wasn't older than me or anything, but he wasn't a virgin. He had already had sex before. He puts on the condom, and obviously like I'm nervous, but it's not like before when I was 16 years old. Like it's a different type of nervous, because at this age, like I'm already more comfortable. I kind of already know more about, you know, sex, and I'm not that scared anymore. And I know that I'm not gonna do it with anyone obviously that doesn't wear a condom. Again, I'm laying down and he's on top of me. So he tries to put it in, and when he's like trying to put it in, it just felt a little bit uncomfortable. It didn't feel like, it didn't hurt or anything. It wasn't like any of those stories that you read online or anything like that. So he would just ask me like, does it hurt? And I would be like, no, it's fine. So finally it's in, and he starts, you know, like going up and down, and I'm like, okay, so this is how having sex is. Like it was just so weird. Like I just didn't expect it to feel like that. It felt a little bit weird, a little bit uncomfortable. I did not feel pleasure. I did not feel like anything good. So obviously like he's doing his thing, and I'm just laying there. I'm not saying anything, and I'm just like looking at him, and like I'll giggle here and there, but that was it. So once he's done, you know, once he finishes, obviously he takes off the condom. I see the sperm right there, and he goes to his restroom and he throws the condom away. And then when he comes back, he's like, hey, you're not a virgin, huh? And I was like, are you kidding me? Yes, I am. Like, I was a virgin. Why are you saying that? And he was like, well, you didn't moan or anything. So I was like, if I don't feel like moaning, like, I'm not gonna moan. What the hell? And we didn't argue about it. It was just like something quick, you know, that we talked about, and that was it. Then we just went back to laying down. And once I was laying down, I was like, yes, like, finally, I'm not a virgin anymore. Like, I had sex. Like, I felt so proud of myself. And I was like, I was so scared of this. Like, this was nothing, blah blah blah. Like, I was just talking to myself inside my head. So yeah, I was happy that, you know, I wasn't a 18-year-old virgin anymore. And at the same time, I was like, damn, like, this is what I was scared of. Like, it's not even a big deal, you know. So yeah, that is how I ended up losing my virginity. So that is the end of this story time. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, let me know in the comments down below. Also, thank you to everyone that has been subscribing and everyone that, you know, gives me a thumbs up on my videos and that comments. Like, I appreciate you guys so much. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.